What's up, you guys? It's Steve here. Hope that you and the family are having a blessed Saturday, and I've got an update for you as the president has come out and said that gas prices are going to be coming down. The economy is doing better. Let me know if you agree or disagree. This is your stimulus package update and stimulus check update because we're going to be hearing directly from the president, but also I've got an update for you from Republicans who are saying that nope, this has been a terrible move. The economy is getting worse, gas prices are getting higher, and things are worsening with Biden's economic agenda and all of this spending that's going out. I'm going to be sharing with you both perspectives. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, also, I let you guys know we're hearing that progress is being made on more pandemic spending to help battle the pandemic. We're also hearing about phases of new stimulus for small businesses, phases of new stimulus for possibly gas stimulus checks, and we're hearing that there's going to be work on Build Back Better coming up, as well as now we might have a bipartisan agreement on that pandemic spending. So you guys, a lot of stuff moving through Congress, new legislation going through. I'm going to keep you up to date, but let me know your thoughts. Do you feel like one of the main contributing factors to this sky-high inflation, a 40-year high, is the stimulus packages that have been going out? Or you think it's a combination of different things? Let me know your thoughts. I did a poll here on the channel, and a lot of people said that it's that, but also the war in Russia and Ukraine, supply chain issues, still battling the pandemic, a combination of things. But you guys, let's take a look at this video footage. Now, before we dive in though, also wanted to say thank you for all the support on the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. If you're interested in learning about growing wealth and personal finance, consider joining that channel as well. I'll pin a comment down below. And also, a lot of people were asking about the bathroom remodel that we had, and it's done. So it looks great. So thankful for getting that done here. The contractors helped us out. They did an awesome job. And also, you guys, before we dive into the latest updates, if you could just smash the like button for me, helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. And if you want to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. And if you got specific questions for me, hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. You can get a hold of me directly, very easily that way. But with that being said, let's dive right in, and let's start off with what President Joe Biden had to say about how things are going to be going with gas prices and how things are improving with the economy.
In March, our economy created 100,000 more jobs than we previously had thought. That means that over the last 3 months, the economy has created more than 500,000, more than 500,000 jobs a month. Over the course of my presidency, our recovery has now created 7.9 million jobs. More jobs created over the first 14 months of any presidency in any term ever. And that's striking. But what's even more striking is this. In March, the unemployment rate fell to 3.6%, down from 6.4% when I took office about 15 months ago. The fastest decline in unemployment to start a president's term ever recorded. In fact, there have been only 3 months in the last 50 years where the unemployment rate in America is lower than it is now. And what it means is clear, what is very clear. Americans are back to work. And that's good news for millions of families who have a little more breathing room and the dignity that comes from earning a paycheck, just the dignity of having a job. And more Americans get jobs as they do. It's going to help ease the supply pressures we've seen. And that's good news for fighting inflation. It's good news for our economy, and it means that our economy has gone from being on the mend to being on the move.
There you have it, President Joe Biden, who said the economy is no longer on the mend, but it's on the move. Jobs are coming back. The unemployment rate is declining faster than any presidency before. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, however, we're going to be hearing the Republican perspective of this, as we're going to be hearing from Representative Jason Smith, who has his opening remarks on the House Budget Committee hearing that was Tuesday. And he is not happy with the way that things have unfolded for our economy. And actually, polls have recently said that the vast majority of Americans say the number one concern that they have is domestic economic issues. The cost of living, inflation, oil prices, gas prices. Let's hear what he has to say, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.
When you testified last year on President Biden's fiscal year 22 budget, alarm bells were already going off about the impact that the president's agenda would have on the economy, what it would have on the inflation, and the security of our southern border. At that time, the crises created by President Biden and the House and Senate Democrats' agenda were already piling up. That list has only grown since including an energy crisis, with folks paying over $4 a gallon at the pump. In fact, since President Biden has been in office, gas prices has went up 79%. That's tough for the folks back home. Then there's a crime crisis in communities across this country and an education crisis that has perpetuated the mistreatment of kids in our schools under the guise of COVID-19. So now we have President Biden's fiscal year 23 budget, a proposal that deliberately makes every crisis American families are facing because of President Biden and the one-party Democrat rule in Congress that much worse. American families are facing a spike in prices not seen in this country in over 40 years. A $3,500 inflation tax on every family in America just last year alone. The president's budget keeps the reckless spending going on, doubling down on the delusion that the answer out of inflation is to spend more money. This proposal spends $73 trillion over the next 10 years. And also, it provides the Build Back Broke agenda, which this budget tries to cover up using a deficit-neutral reserve fund. The Congressional Budget Office, though, has confirmed there is nothing deficit-neutral about the agenda. CBO confirmed it adds $3 trillion to our nation's debt. As gas prices have skyrocketed, the president's budget surrenders American energy independence and attacks American energy companies so that we are more reliant on foreign nations for our energy needs, more dependent on countries like Russia, China, and Venezuela, Iran. At a time when the world seems to be even more of a hostile place. This budget also includes potentially up to $4 trillion in tax increases, more than $1.5 trillion of that falling on American families. $2,000 for every average American tax increase is in this proposal. That is absolutely terrible. And then under the Build Back Better agenda, you have covered up in a deficit-neutral reserve fund over the next 10 years. Biden's budget calls for $58 trillion in total taxes, the highest sustained tax burden in American history. And while folks see their taxes go up and the value of their paychecks go down, Biden's budget gives a 12% raise to the IRS to target hardworking Americans. We already know where this type of tax and spending agenda is going. Look at the past year after the Democrats' $2 trillion Biden bailout bill was signed into law. Jobs in 2021 grew less than CBO said they would before that $2 trillion spending bill came on the scene. After over 2.9 million border encounters occurred since Biden took office, the president's budget continues the same catch and release policies that have resulted in the worst border crisis in over 20 years. There's no commitment to border security in this budget, no using the $1.9 billion in border wall funding that was just renewed as part of the most recent omnibus spending bill. The budget allows $350 million in border wall still to continue rusting away, while contractors are paid billions to babysit unused material. It cuts funding for immigration and customs enforcement by $150 million. All of it is a slap in the face to the men and women dealing with security and humanitarian crisis at the southern border. The president says, "Show me your budget and I'll tell you what you value." For the second straight year, we see the president values a government that tells its citizens how to live their lives. He values an economy where everything from the clothes you put on your back to the food you put on your table to the gas in your car is more expensive. He values open borders and energy dependence. He values debt, a lot of it, $16 trillion to be exact. The American people are not going to buy this budget because, frankly, we can't afford it. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Man, well, there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts, as they are saying that it's too much spending. This is too expensive. It has caused the inflation, and they're saying that they're Democrats and Biden are going to be adding more so to it, and it's going to make things even worse. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. Now, I will keep you up to date as we're hearing that the budget, the spending, all of that is ready. We heard that there was an agreement on $10 billion of an additional vaccination and battling the pandemic spending to go out. In addition to that, we're hearing Build Back Better is going to be coming around, and there's also gas stimulus checks currently on the table in negotiations. The White House is reviewing right now, and we're going to be seeing what other phases of spending Democrats are going to be trying to push through in legislation. And we're hearing, as you see, there is no Republican support for adding more debt to our economy and potentially causing more inflation. So any legislation that's going to be passing through Congress, they're going to need to do it with the process of reconciliation, which is going to be a majority vote, meaning Democrats must unify, including all moderate Democrats in the Senate. They'll have to get all 50 of them on board. And this is a midterm election year, as you know, so they're going to want to get something done if they want to maintain their power in Congress, because we're hearing that if they don't get things done right away and convince voters to vote them to stay in power, it is very likely we're hearing that 2022 is going to be a year of a red wave in Congress. And if we have a Republican Senate and a House, it's going to be hard for a Democratic president to get much done, which we're hearing could easily spell a 2024 Republican win, which we're hearing will probably be former President Donald Trump. Now, we will see you guys. I will keep you up to date, but that is the latest. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, come join the Ram fam. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And once again, you guys, thank you so much. Hope that you're having a blessed weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.